Hello, Empowerment Network family. Tonight's message is titled Not Perfect but Persistent. That's a powerful mindset that speaks to everyone, guys. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a content creator, you're a single mother, you're a ministry leader, or even a tech innovator, right? So we're going to draw inspiration from Ash Mufareh's journey with this business. So insights will be coming from big companies also like Apple and SpaceX. And of course, we're going to wrap it up with a solid spiritual truth to actually fuel our faith and focus. So, if you don't mind, grab a notebook or get ready to comment because you're about to be equipped and, of course, encouraged in a very real way, guys. Let's do this together. So I want to begin with the man behind one of the most resilient tech movements of our time, Ash Mufareh, who is our CEO. And if you don't know about him yet, whether you're watching us now live or you watch this later on as recorded, then you just want to stay tuned and listen. So before I even go ahead, guys, give me some thumbs up. Let me be sure that you can see and you can hear me so that I should not be talking to myself right here. That is my brother from Panama. Hello, Carlos. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. Guys, let me know if you can hear me before I go ahead. And if you don't mind, let's share this because I really want us to share this conversation. It's very crucial at this very point in time where we are waiting for our hardworking CEO, Mr. Ash Mufareh, right? So like I was saying, despite the delays, the technical complexities, public criticism and challenges with regulatory bodies, Ash has stayed firm. That is not because he's perfect, but because he's been persistent, right? He has been consistently persistent, and that's why he's still able to move on. So Ash himself once said, an attempt is a possibility for learning. It's not labeled as failure, but rather a necessary step towards progress. So let's just pause here a minute and reflect. That mindset of Mr. Mufarez, it removes the fear of getting it wrong, the fear of for the past years, Ash has been encouraging leaders and ordinary people from all walks of life, including you and myself, depending whenever you joined this whole movement, to try to test and keep moving forward. You don't stand still because there's no movement, there's no progress in standing still, in being on the spot. So without waiting for perfection, we just go on and on and on. And that is very, very transformational because you just need to start and then fail or do it another way before you think that, okay, let's do it another way and see if it looks better, right? And something which I think I've made this observation once. Sometimes what would begin a massive project like this one with is just the conception. We don't know yet what lies ahead, and so we don't yet know what we are doing. And so we learn on the job, we learn as we do it, we learn while doing. And that's just the best way of doing stuff. So if we wait there and we wait for perfection, I think they will only turn into wishful thinking. It will never be materialized. So Ash also said again, when you want to launch something, it's worth to say that it's not guaranteed to go well. That's so much wisdom here. Because if you think that I am 100% sure it is already perfect before launch and stuff like that, then you would be deceiving even your own self. And that's why some people even give up at the very first trial and temptation and failure. Or they fall, they never want to stand up because they saw perfection before it even arrived. So, in other words, Ash is honest about risk, he's open to imperfection, and he's still bold enough to take action. That's the beauty about this whole movement. That's a good thing about Mr. Mufareh because he is very courageous. He's got an audacity to do what people think is undoable, right? So his transparency has really inspired thousands of people like to keep going in their personal and business goals, and even when the path isn't so smooth. So this whole thing that Mr. Mufareh is doing for us is a holistic package because there's a lot of learning going on in it for all of us. There's a lot of transformation, change of mindset, and all of those people. So much growth is taking place before business itself. So that is the beauty, that is the difference, and we see that he is not the only one. So another quote from Ash Mufareh, I'm just happy that I could find these quotes here and there, right? He said, don't drop like a rotten peach, stay cute like a mango. And if you were there, if you follow Ash all of the time, I know that you would have sat and watched the day he said this. I'm sorry, I'm not being disrespectful. Sometimes I find him cute, saying cute stuff. Don't drop like a rotten peach, stay cute like a mango. That's quite sweet. So what does that mean for us, for you and myself? So even when things get hard, when plans go sideways or doubts creep in, what do? You hold on to your posture. Keep your value and maintain your sweetness. I think that's what Mr. Mubarak is saying. And that is persistence with dignity. I don't need to lose my saltiness, my sweetness, my beauty, my brightness, just because the little dark moment has come, which is temporary anyway. So now, let's even zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Ash is not the only one who thrived through persistence, right? We know about Elon Musk and SpaceX, if I can't say it, or SpaceX. So what is Elon Musk saying? He said, failure is an option here. Failure is an option. If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough. And everybody at least should know who Elon Musk is, what he has done, what he is still doing, right? And what happens? He did not say he did not fail. He says it's an option because without it, you don't learn and there's no innovation taking place because you only innovate, you only make different things, new things, more beautiful things from where you failed. So think about that. Multiple rocket explosions and public flops don't stop Musk. He's like, I am unstoppable. I'm going on and on and on. And today, what is SpaceX? Is the first private company to send astronauts into space. Why? Do you think one morning Elon Musk just stood up, snipped his fingers, and it happened? No. We know it, we've been following it, and we know all of these things. Mr. Mufareh's case is not different, right? Steve Jobs also once said, Steve Jobs is the Apple guy, right? I'm convinced that about half of what separates successful entrepreneurs, from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. And I think that perseverance here is synonymous to persistence, to consistency, right? Or consistently being persistent, you are being perseverant, right? I'm convinced that about half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. Not any kind of perseverance, but pure. So Jobs was fired from his own company and still returned to do what? To create revolutionary products. He was not perfect, but he was persistent. That's why he is where he is today. Who will ever forget of that name and what he has done, right? So Walt Disney equally, he said, you lack imagination. Or he was once told, Walt Disney, that is the Disney guy. Somebody once told him, you lack imagination. But what happened? He did not give up on himself because somebody dictates what they think he is. He persisted, right? And turned failures into magical global empire, right? These are not just stories, they are blueprints for modern day pioneers. All of these people I'm talking about are the people we know. What else do? We just want to learn from them. So what's the takeaway here? Why does this matter to us, to you and myself? The takeaway for all of us who are Mr. Mufareh's followers, business owners, mothers and freelancers, dreamers, all alike, right? So whether you've just joined the movement or you've been here since the beginning, whether you sell online, you teach, you write, or you run a small NGO. If I'm talking about writing here, I just want to steal your time now and tell you good news. My sister Fumi has just launched a second book called Mothers and Daughters. It is actually on Amazon now. So if you can check on Sister Fumi, just show her some love, get a copy. Mothers and Daughters, it's present on Amazon now. I don't know, this just came to mind because I was talking about writers, right? So what I'm saying again, whether you are any one of them, are you a content creator, are you a writer, do you run a small business, a small NGO, are you starting off? Persistence is your advantage. If you cannot persist, if you cannot persevere, you will never get there. That is how much I am learning from these big names. And I happen to be blessed to be in touch, in contact, in the movement led by one of those powerful people who are just going to bring total transformation to the entire world. So you don't need to have a perfect system. You need a consistent spirit. This is powerful, guys, because sometimes we just think like, oh my God, I don't have what it takes. I can't stop. I can't do this. I can't do that. It doesn't take perfection. It just takes a consistency. Sometimes you start thinking that you don't eat, or you discover that you don't even have any clue of what you want to do. Go and learn. Go and find out more, and still keep on keeping on. And you get there. Someday people will talk about you like they talk about Ash Mufareh, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and all of these people. It is because of consistency. So we this is just the best time in our lives, and some of us are so blessed to be part of this. But how much we are learning is how much we're equally going to deliver, right? This business, actually, under Ash Mufareh's leadership, is more than a tech solution. It's actually a training ground for mindset, for mission, and for maturity. If you're talking about everyday delay, you learn a lesson. About every struggle, there's a setup. To every no, there is a redirection. That is what we are learning. And this is really helping even me personally, because I've learned how to be even patient. I'm just like, let me take a deep breath. The moment you take just that one long deep breath and settles back in, things are different. You are refreshed. You start over again. That's when you have the spirit to persist, to persevere, to keep on keeping on, because you know that you definitely get there at some point, guys. So let's even close with this powerful verse. I thought that this is an all-round thing, all perspectives, all walks of life. We all live with, it has to do with perseverance, right? So the Bible says, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. That's Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. I am not preaching. I'm just saying that even though our secular, normal, day-to-day people, they learn and know how to persist so that they can succeed. The Bible says the same. In the kingdom of God, just like in business, results follow resilience, right? Because what God rewards faith in motion, not fear waiting for perfection. Sometimes you plan for years. There's something I've been planning for many, 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 many years. I finally discovered that it's time to start, and it's so exciting, and I'm so very excited. One day I'll come here to sit here to tell you this story. I'm so looking forward to doing that, just because I'm learning from these people, learning from the Bible, learning. That is what takes us there. So whether you're building, or you're launching your brand, or you're restoring your life, if you don't faint, you will reap. That is a secret. Very simple. Keep to it, and of course we will make it. So Ash Mufareh's followers, you and myself, we are learning this in real time. His unshakable drive, and focus on uplifting humanity is preparing a kind of generation of people who understand that we rise through persistence, not perfection. There's no such thing as perfection, except that you are God in heaven. That's the only perfect being that, to the best of my knowledge, really does exist. It's all about persistence, because without that, you cannot walk. So tonight, guys, I really do challenge you. Where have you been waiting for perfection? When God or your mission is asking for persistence, we just want to think again. To be fair, don't say because it's coming from me. Just think about it and do something different. Even if you knew about it, let's make it new today, and then go back to it again and say, why did I abandon this project? Why did I not ever start, and stuff like that? Was it because I was trying to be perfect first? All right, it's about persistence. I'll rise again, and I'll do it again. So if you don't mind, maybe drop it in comments. What are you choosing to persist in this week? Or how has Ash's journey inspired your own? I really need to know this. I can say a lot. I can say so much. One of the things is just, I really trust a bit of self-confidence. If I think that what I'm saying is okay, I say it. I don't listen to my mistakes, to my imperfect language skills and stuff like that. I just think that if the people can understand me and I believe that it's bringing value, I'll bring it, because what the people want is the value and not my mastery of language, because it is irrelevant. That is helping. There's so much I could say if I were to be given the time of how much I've learned from Mr. Mufareh's journey. But why don't we drop this in the chat section? Because somebody who is just passing by would find this, read what you say, hear what I say, put one and one together and think that this is a movement to be part of, you know. So if you don't mind, guys, kindly share this live stream with someone who needs to, maybe a push to keep going, because we really do need to keep going. Our CEO is going on and on and on and on, together with his team, together with his family. And if you don't mind, why not subscribe to Empowerment Network? We are running live on at least 3 channels, myself, Andy, and Collins. So whatever channel you're watching on, just check if you have subscribed, click on the bell, because we like to do this quite regularly. So guys, we are at the right place at the right time for the right reason, for the right purpose. So stay tuned, because our next live stream will be unpacking, you know, a few more interesting things. We're always having interesting things to share here. I think so. So guys, let's do this together. Thank you for always being there to support me. And that's me again. When I'm by myself, I have only a mouth. I have only a mouth to say, to talk to you. I don't have a mouth or eyes to look at people as comments. Let me see who is supporting me today. See, my friend is right here. Hi, bro. That's Mr. Mana himself. So Peter Rogers, hi. Thank you for joining. Penina Nathaniel, thank you, sister, for joining. I appreciate. No, failure is not an option. Yes, be positive and have faith moving forward. Uh, Learning and keep moving. Past is gone. And of course, we are heading to a new chapter. There's another way of looking at failure, which I just learned today from Elon Musk, Sister Penina, which I will add to what you say. I know that every day we do say failure is not an option, but in Elon Musk's case, he says it is an option, because you need to fail to be able to learn from there, then persist and then do it better. This is powerful. So either way that we look at it, it works and it is true, you know. So I'm just so happy that how much we are learning and how much it's preparing us to go out there and serve. Hi, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you, Peter Rogers. I appreciate, and of course, we're a team. The future is bright indeed, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So let me see a few highs here and there. Hello, my sister Rebecca Kefero. Comfort, you are very much welcome. Thank you, sister. I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much. Didi Dipokash. Thank you for joining. If I don't pronounce your name well, please don't crucify me. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult. Maybe everybody should be called Comfort, because it's easy to say. Thank you guys for joining. I'm happy. I appreciate everybody for joining. Hi, Sister Cynthia. It's been a long while. I think you need to come back. You fired us here and you moved everybody. You need to come back, sis. It's been a while. So failure is not part of the process. Sometimes it could be. I've learned this from Elon Musk. I need to digest this again a bit more and more and more and more. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you. And I love you all so much. I just want us to keep doing it, do this every day. And of course, hey, my brother Greg, thank you for confirming that you could hear me. So I was sure I was not talking to myself. Uh, my brother Carlos, greetings from Panama. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you. And of course, see you again soon. Bye.